Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Living Better with Joe and Kat. This is episode number 12 of the podcast, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about our life with coronavirus, and so far, we're healthy. How's it going, Joe and Kat?
Going great.
It's going really good.
Staying healthy. Best we can.
Yeah, I want to apologize to everybody because we have missed some podcast. And I was going to just give a brief explanation. We live in Oregon. And our governor, Kate Brown, was asked around March 21st by the city mayors and the county leaders to issue a statewide stay-at-home order. And I'm going to say I'm really glad that she acted quick. On March 23rd, she issued the executive orders for us to stay home with exception for essential tasks. So with that being, the case, the stores were getting swarmed for goods, and we also have a friend that we help out she has medical vulnerabilities, and we go to the store for her and make sure that she's stocked up with food and supplies. That was the first Friday we missed. We were just out shopping for our friend and also getting ourselves set up. And then the following week, I was busy canceling our trip that we were supposed to take to Adam's wedding.
And Mexico. Or no, actually,
we were going to go to Vegas.
Las Vegas, that's right.
Yeah. So, that was a priority for me on that following Friday, was that we get our airline tickets credited and the hotel refunded and credited, and the concert we were going to go to in Vegas, we were going to go see Reba McEntire and Brooks and Dunn, and that we had to wait until till it was officially canceled because they postponed it, which meant that the insurance was going to go, back and forth as to whether the concert people were going to issue a refund or whether our insurance was going to issue a refund.
One of them had to do it.
One of them had to, but we had to wait and go through all that process of what was appropriate for which, whether it was the concert people or the insurance company that we bought the tickets with. So that was a very busy day. And again, for the people that are listening, I make no excuses. I apologize that we weren't here for podcasting, but we had some things that were of priority that we needed to get taken care of. So for that, I do apologize. And we just want to get going. And, and I feel really sad that the wedding got canceled that we're going to. But the good news is scheduled for August 2nd, I think. Yeah. I gotta go back and check the text from my nephew, but the venue, they were just going to go through with it. See, that's how much this coronavirus has affected even just people's daily lives. Let alone the World Health Organization, the CDC, the government, and all that's all moving at like crazy speeds. Mm-hmm. But then you boil it down to what's happening inside of each person's individual life, and those changes are getting out of control. I mean, I just gave examples of why we weren't even able to make our podcast. And I'm not sure what happened yesterday, because yesterday was Friday and we're recording today on a Saturday.
Yesterday
we were hauling wood.
And the weather was amazing.
We had a good weather day, and we needed to get some things done outside because up here in Oregon, it's a little wet and cold still.
Yeah, well, yesterday was what, like 52-ish or maybe 50-ish? I don't even know if it even hit 50,
it's
to
like
be
56
honest.
degrees. Yeah,
but then today,
the sun was out yesterday.
It is raining today and then snowing today.
And we're inside.
And so, like yesterday, I took the opportunity, went out and rode my motorcycle. You guys went out and did wood cutting, and we
hauled wood.
And we normally do
actually,
our podcast
I watched Joey haul wood
around 1 p.m.
You helped. You helped.
Oh, as much as I
could.
Steven,
let's ask about Kathy. Are you done with what you wanted to say?
No, I have a lot more to say, but you guys go ahead since you got something to talk about.
Steven, let's talk about.
What did you say, Joe?
Let's talk about your new motorcycle that you got.
Oh, you want to tell them about that, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why not?
Right. Well, I guess briefly we can go over it. Yeah, so I got a new motorcycle. This coronavirus has came up, and I know it's been a negative for a lot of people. Some people are losing family members and loved ones, and
our prayers are with them.
honestly, I feel so anxious about a lot of these things, but I'm trying to still live a normal life in quarantine, of course. And one of those things is, I picked up a brand new motorcycle because if I'm gonna die, by darn, I'm gonna go out and have some fun before I do it. And riding a motorcycle in the local woods out near the house is a fairly safe activity. I'm not going out there really romping on it. I'm just going and cruising around.
Well, you're not mingling with a bunch of people.
And I'm going by myself. And when I do go with a buddy, we're obviously on 2 different bikes and plenty
social distancing.
More than 6 feet apart. Yeah. And obviously, you keep that 6 feet when you get off the bikes. But that's what I'm doing. And it was kind of an impulse buy due to life or death. And I also picked up a lot of work, so it's nice to, have a toy, I guess. Give a little bit of a treat after getting those.
Yeah.
But
the business has been affected
due to Corona.
Due to the stay-at-home orders, because that affects the tourism that strongly supports Steven's leg of the business. So... but as soon as everybody gets back into normal pattern, we're anticipating that we're just all hunkered down, weathering the storm, and Steven's business will be back. But, I applaud you, Steven, for finding rays of sunshine and having the attitude you're going to live your life and not have this be, something that's so scary and doom and gloom that it puts you into depression. I would rather see you out in the sunshine when we have it, with the wind on your face, and enjoying the trees, the sky, and the dirt and the rocks all around you. Just don't crash on the rocks.
With the coronavirus,
and the trees.
It has put an emphasis on living every day like it is your last.
Yep.
So to all the listeners out there, go and give your family a hug. Tell them you love them, because it could just be a day away, and they could be sick and in the hospital, and you don't get to say goodbye in some circumstances. So... it's always good to just live your life, live it every day, and don't hold back in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to say bless you to Joey. He's about to sneeze. No, they're going to hear it. Don't think they won't.
Okay.
It's okay, Joe.
Guys,
they're not
I have to tell you,
you
too, and it's not because of the corona thing. It's because I have allergies, so...
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning to you when I had coffee this morning. I'm sneezing. And Joey's just looking at me like, holy crap, what the hell? And I'm like, coronavirus is here, yes.
Yeah.
But my seasonal allergies didn't just dissipate.
That's
I
true.
still am sneezing and wheezing because I have allergies and asthma.
That's true.
So, well, that brings me to, I also wanted to, update everybody too that, I joined the Elks Club and I got elected into being a treasurer. And then as soon as all of that happened, boom.
Stopped.
We're stuck at home and the lodge is completely closed, as it should be. And that's kept me off of my busyness that I was producing for myself to keep myself, happy and social. But we have definitely filled in our time with some home projects. Joey, why don't you talk about your pickled eggs? We made a batch of pickled eggs on our Man Monday video, and they needed a little bit of redoing. So we did.
We did a redo. With all this time we have from being quarantined and we're stuck at home, we decided to, or I decided, I guess, maybe that it was time to make some more pickled eggs. So what did we do? This time we used...
What did you not like about the first batch? Let's tell people.
Well, the first batch, just like Stephen was saying, didn't have a lot of zing to it.
They just tasted like vinegar.
Yeah.
Vinegar-soaked eggs.
Yeah.
So we ended up with the first batch doing the brine, which was vinegar, and then we had...
You don't have to go through all that. They can watch the Man Monday video.
Yeah, the garlic and all that stuff. So we did something different. And this time we used green stuffed olives, right? And
what were they stuffed with? Blue cheese, feta cheese, pimento.
Okay. Green olives. That's how I know.
Kalamata olives.
They're not just your regular green olives.
Onions.
No, these were the great big green olives that were tasty.
Yeah, and we didn't put any garlic in this time. You may mention that before we got started. It's like,
but we wanted some heat in them.
We wanted some heat.
That was the biggest part. I still don't think there's enough heat. I have no idea how your dad did it back in the day, because they were like deep cut colored eggs all the way to the core.
Well, he could have put beets in there for the color.
It's not the color necessarily.
To
it's
make
just
them turn purple.
The color to me was showing that they were really soaked.
I think the texture of these eggs that have sat for almost 2 weeks are close to the texture of Grandpa's eggs.
You know,
but
they're firm.
I'm gonna say that the jalapenos that we put in this batch were called tamed jalapenos. They weren't as spicy.
They were good, but they didn't
next
have
batch. Well, see, when
chili
we were,
peppers.
When we were in the kitchen. And I said, "Oh, try one of these jalapenos." You put it in your mouth, and it took your breath away, and it looked like you inhaled A1 sauce again.
It did. It was terrible.
And these were
holy
tamed jalapenos. So, and then we put them in the batch, and while they soaked in the eggs, they lost their heat. Yeah. So I think the next batch we need to put in regular jalapenos.
Here's what I propose. Okay, here's what I propose. If the next batch, we're not going to use red chili peppers, because I think if you put red chili peppers in there, the long stem peppers, that would give it a lot.
Holy crap! What do you want to do?
Time out. I got you guys one better. Jojo, hear me out. I got you one better. Instead of doing red hot peppers, I think we should try it, because this is what we gotta do. We're gonna keep trying all these recipes, and pretty soon we're gonna have a Living Better with Joe and Kat pickled eggs special. Order online, and we'll ship them across the country
like the
to you.
roll-offs with their pumpkin salsa.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So,
that's right.
But anyway, what I truly think we should try is go and get some jalapeno extract. So where somebody gets a whole bunch of jalapenos and dries them out,
Jesus,
soaks them inside of ethanol. We could actually make some of these ourselves.
You're making your mom cry. Just think about it.
I'm not saying to eat this raw, but get that extract and put it in there, because think about the volume of vinegar. Dilute it
with the brine. It should tame it out a little bit.
And get that extra bite and really extract the oils.
You got to be able to replicate it, though, because it's like the other night I made clean the fridge soup, and it was a chili. And Joey was just good. Like, he came in and he was like, "Is there any way you can make this again?" And I'm like, "No, because it was clean the fridge soup."
Oh, you can make it again.
Never make it
Listen,
the same.
But that's what makes clean the fridge soup so delicious. Is it never is the same. It's always a special, delightful treat.
I could have if we just could have blinked and had some more of that.
A special, delightful treat.
Oh my goodness. So, I want to run something by you guys, okay?
Oh my God.
So when I was just thinking, if we extracted the jalapenos and got like the extracts, jalapenos, it produces where the heat comes from is from the essential oil inside there, okay? But here's what I'm telling you I think the problem could be. Maybe I don't understand pickling all the way, which is probably definitely true, but oil and water don't mix, so do oil and vinegar mix?
No, they don't, because salad dressings layer out.
Yeah. So, fair enough. So then, how would the extract or even any oil from anything get inside the pickled eggs if it would only rise and separate from the main mix?
I've got a grand idea.
I think next batch we need to just use hotter jalapenos.
Okay.
I use tamed ones
Stephen makes
time.
a good point. How does the liquid get in the egg? Right?
It's an oil. The oil separates.
So what about...
The oil's going to be at the top, and it's going to burn your mouth.
What about...
But it never soaks into the eggs, is my point. But your dad's eggs, back in the day, they had a spiciness on the inside. And that was the confusing part. How did he get the spiciness in there? What pepper is water-soluble, in a sense, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think what we should do this time... And I just thought,
why don't you call my dad and ask him?
Don't say anything. Don't say that. Don't say that. Let me finish what I was going to say. I think what we should do this time... It's like
calling a ghost. Good luck with that.
I think what we should do this time is we should poke the eggs all the way around.
Oh, no. He didn't... No, they'd fall apart, Joey.
No, if you just prick the eggs a little bit, like you do your steak.
Very tenderly, not very deep.
That would allow all the spices and the juice to get in
He never had to do that.
It's like a rubber ball.
I think we're just going to have to continue our researching and experimenting.
Here's my last thing I was going to say.
That's it. We will soak the eggs in a pure vat of jalapeno oil. And no water, no vinegar, just jalapeno oil.
The next day when you go to the bathroom.
No. You let it sit in the jalapeno for like a week. And then you transfer it into the vinegar, and the vinegar will bring some of the heat back out, and then you can enjoy them fully. I don't know.
Well, here's
I'm
the last
inventing new stuff.
Here's the last option I was going to say. If we can make another batch and it works out great, we'll continue that. If it does not, however, we can, or I can, call your dad and just flat out ask him.
Bull crap.
Give me the recipe. I want to know what you used in it.
He won't even answer the phone for you.
Nancy will answer the phone.
No, she won't.
Are you guys doing great?
You know, you put in there, Humpster. Yeah. Put in a load of chew spit and make it extra good. Yeah, that's what he'd tell you at this point. But anyway, besides the negativity of life of him,
I haven't spoke to him for 2 years.
Probably not. Now, I think we could consult with YouTube.
The title of this show is "Living Better." We don't need to bring up all the bad family relationships.
But true, understand that you know what? How
about we say this? Living a little bit better.
Stop it. I gotta say, we are starting to live better as a family in many ways.
We're moving on.
By purging out the negativity in our lives. And that's what makes things better for us. And so that's where I'm gonna leave that. So eggs, what else are you guys up to? You were telling me something about a garden. We went down and we're looking at our greenhouses today.
Okay, well, let's back it up just a minute. Before we got into the coronavirus pandemic that totally shit-canned a whole bunch of our plans, my idea was that we just take down all the greenhouses on the property so that we could focus on riding scooters and going out to the Elks Lodge and taking the boat out and camping and not being a slave to the garden. Now, coronavirus has came down on us and we've rethought things.
Now, that wasn't exactly true. Because
what wasn't
true about that?
What I heard about the greenhouses were they look so crappy looking or whatever, and we need to take them down.
Let's inform our listeners, because you got to remember, people are listening, they have never seen our greenhouse, and they're like, whoa, what's wrong with your greenhouse?
What's wrong with that greenhouse?
We built cheap $500 or less hoop houses out of PVC pipe that were maybe a little too big, but they were nice, okay?
Yeah. And because we live in Oregon and we have a very short grow season, and the greenhouse extends it a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end.
We don't want the deer eating all of our
vegetables. And we have deer that eat everything, and so you have to protect it.
Yeah. And so they are beautiful. I enjoy it when you put plastic on them. They both look beautiful.
They look great.
Yeah,
the ribs themselves during winter with some shreds of plastic in the air, it looks pretty trashy back there.
Yeah.
And so
I agree.
We were discussing ways of improving the greenhouses this year, and also, I'm not using my greenhouse as much, so we've been talking about how can we readapt it to make it where we can grow more vegetables in there.
Well, because you weren't using your greenhouse for your projects, and that's Steven, I'm looking at Steven, and then I have the agenda that I want to play, which leaves no time to tend to a garden.
So what has made you want to change your mind on doing gardens or caring if Joe and I continue
Because
gardening?
If we have to maintain more social distancing, because this coronavirus is kind of changing the way that we're all interacting with each other.
The way we're living.
Who knows when the Elks Lodge is going to get reopened? Who knows? Yeah. I mean, I do want to take that
gardening
boat out.
Gardening can be a nice hobby, and boating is a nice hobby.
I want to go boating. I'm a water dog, and if I don't get some water dog stuff going this year, it's going to really suck for me.
The only way that would get squashed is if they do the mandatory order of two people. That's the maximum.
Well, the way it is right now is the state parks are closed. You can't even park your car and your boat trailer while you're out on the lake.
Well, and the boat ramps are closed too.
The boat ramps are closed. Everything's closed. So if that's going to be what we look at moving into summer, if they don't lift the stay-at-home kind of orders, which they change their minds
frequently.
I think this is going to be a year of less boating, unfortunately.
I know.
So how about, hey, I got a brilliant idea.
That's how we came to the boys talking about more assertive gardening this year, and we're going to change it up. So Joey, talk about how the changes are that you guys were going to, what are we going to say? How about we do what?
Well, I was going to say, you're like a water dog. I can buy you one of those big $500 pools. We can fill it up full of water, set it in the backyard in the sun. I'll get you a little water chair where you can get in there and you can have your drink and you're in the sun, you're getting vitamin D, right? And you're getting your water. If that happens, I'm buying you a pool this year. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, because my favorite thing to do is to float on a floaty toy
with your drink,
with an alcohol drink in my hand.
I think that's a grand idea.
But remember when the kids were little and we had a pool?
Yeah,
it was cold.
They've got it where you can heat them now.
Hey, I have a sous vide machine upstairs.
Yeah, we can heat that bugger up.
We can just plug a few of those in there, and honestly, it'd probably heat the water in the pool. You just put like 5 of them in there. I tell you what, if we can get Uncle Bear to go and get some crawdad for us, then we can just throw some crawdad in there, and we'll just have a whole,
him bite my feet when I get off my floaty toy.
No, we'll cook them in there.
Oh, cook them in
after
there.
you get out, we'll have a little
I
cookout.
think that is a great idea. Get her a pole, get you a pole, and
that's if we can't make it to the lakes and the rivers. I wanted to buy another paddleboard this year.
Don't be with people.
I don't know if I'm going to even be able to do that.
I wonder if you can still go paddleboarding.
You can go paddleboarding. You can go,
there's nothing wrong with doing that.
This is the thing we
could
all
go down to the
need
river.
to remember. We need to keep distance from other people.
Yeah.
We live on the same compound, and we interact with each other whether we're in quarantine or not. So for us to be near each other, if one of us gets sick, we're all going to get sick. And if we're all sick, obviously we need to stay home. But we need to stay away from other people too. But going out paddleboarding,
put in point at the part of the river,
you're just going to put it on water and get in, and go away.
The only place that I can see where we're going to be able to paddleboard on the river in Bend is if we park down on the street, not near the park, on the street,
by the dentist.
Put it in, and then paddle up because I like the workout, and then float it back down. We can't get out on the up end, and we can't put in on the up
end. Hear me
out.
I wouldn't necessarily want to be going on Deschutes forever. I'm talking more about lakes, like. If we went
ramps
up,
are closed.
If they have the parks
where are you going to
closed,
park your car?
Yeah. They don't suck the water out of the lake. There's still water
in the lake.
I know,
but you got
to
be able to park your car and get your paddleboards to the water.
Here's my example. So what is it? Lake Billy Chinook. They have a boat ramp, but there's also that street outside. I went and stayed the night at Billy Chinook, and I was not allowed to leave the truck.
But it's a state park.
I was not allowed to leave the truck inside the state park parking lot. But there's a public road, and there's a pullout on that public road that I left the truck and the trailer overnight. And when I came back the next day, there was no ticket. The truck hadn't been towed, thankfully not vandalized, even though we're not in that sketchy of an area, but still, you understand. So I don't know.
We may have to get creative.
We may have to go explore.
Okay, but we're all of us are in agreement that our recreation this summer may be hindered.
Maybe we don't know that.
And given that, you guys decided
today.
Are
you cool with swimming off the side of a lake without taking a boat? If you took your paddleboard. And we went East Lake and
Paulina
are totally accessible. Although
they're in a federal park.
I understand they're in the federal park, but are you not allowed to be on the water at all?
I don't think you can. You have to be able to get to. Yeah, please.
I'm going to research while you guys discuss this.
But anyway, today, you and Steven had the conversation of what you're going to do with the greenhouses. Which you're going to leave one of the 2 greenhouses up.
And we're going to do that because...
And then what are you going to do where the footprint of your greenhouse is?
It's going to be, we're going to leave Steven's greenhouse up. We're going to plastic it. I'm going to order some plastic from Home Depot. Probably not as much as I ordered last year because we're only covering his greenhouse, right?
Or just order it and then have it for
have extra or whatever for the next year, right? But we're going to cover his because we want to put all of the plants inside his greenhouse that might get frostbite. So that being said, and then mine, I'm going to put some 4x4 posts all the way around. And
how high are you going to build it?
8 feet.
Because?
Of the deer. And
Man, you sound like a police interrogator.
If the deer jump over that, we're screwed.
The viewer needs to be able to make a mental picture of what you're describing.
So as you describe things, try to describe them a little bit more in depth as you go. So we were discussing that. So we're going to have like a fence going around it, but we're going to try to do it kind of cheap this year, even though I think it would be cool to have fancy architecture with our wood and a nice gates. We're going to have just more of a honky gate,
a redneck garden.
We're going to have it going around. And
well, let's tell them the measurements. So the measurements are 32 feet length.
Oh, yeah.
Is the length of my greenhouse by 12 feet wide. So and we're going to run 4x4 posts all the way around it. Viewers, if you can imagine, on the corners. So there's 4 there and then 3 on the sides. That'd be 6. So we're going to use 10 4x4s. And I'm going to concrete those 4x4s into the ground with a concrete tube. And then I'm going to get hog wire fence, and I'm going to go all the way around it, probably 2 layers, because it's going to be 8 feet high. And the fence is only 4 feet high when you buy it in the rolls. And that's what we're going to do.
And so then we can transition and put maybe plants that are more tolerant to cold weather.
Yeah, we can, because I tried growing squash last year in my greenhouse, and it just didn't work out too well.
They mold. It's too moist.
Too moist. Yeah, it's way too moist, too humid. So I could get by with that if we lived in Oklahoma, but don't live in Oklahoma. So
yeah.
Anyhow,
so you're going to be busy with that.
It won't take us too long to do.
Yeah, but you'll be busy with that.
So let's talk about your projects, adding on to the boat cover.
So we have a need for covered parking. With the boys expanding their business, there's more cars in the driveway, and we need to have some things shuffled to the back for storage and covering our camper. So we're going to be doing an add-on to our boat cover. It's a metal roof, and we're going to do wings on each side so that Stephen can park his camping van under there and Chevy his extra Cobalt car, and then we can put our camper on the other wing. But we also, some friends of ours that just moved out to our neighborhood from town, because we live out on 1 acre lots basically in this 4,000 acre neighborhood. They moved out, and they're clearing a lot of trees off their property. Tons. And they have been so nice to let us have the wood, because we have a wood stove that we heat our house with. So we need to refashion our woodworking area in the back for where we bring in sawed logs, and we have a splitter back there. And the way that we've been stacking, it's been relatively small amounts of wood. So we're going to have to get some 4x4 posts concreted in and make organized places to stack high quantities of wood, because it'll still be great to burn 2, 3, 5 years from now.
The more it cures, better it gets.
Yeah. Yep. So
and we thought that we were, let's see, how many ricks of wood or cords?
I have no idea. We have no idea.
No, what we have now. How many do you think we have now?
We probably have about maybe 4 cords of wood.
That's about what we had when Tom had his wood.
No, there was about 9 when Tom had his wood back there. But anyway, we're just going to make it where it's more of like a processing center back there in the backyard. It's going to be perfect for Joey to do his Man Monday videos with those things, because you can show our ideas of how we're going to be organizing and getting our storage put together in the back of the property.
And I think sooner rather than later, since spring's coming, because we don't want to work all summer, even if we are.
I don't want to work all summer. Right. One of the things that I'm going to be doing that I've already gotten started is I'm sewing masks. Our daughter lives over in Eugene, and she works in healthcare, and she sent me some kits, pardon me, that Joanne's Fabrics is putting together over in the Eugene area with their template and mask building instructions. And then our hospital in Bend has different instructions. And so yesterday I went to our Joanne's here in town and picked up what I need. So I think tomorrow it's going to be cold and rainy. I'm going to be burrowed in just sewing masks. And
the hospital will appreciate that.
Well, I'm doing it because my friends work at the hospital.
Right.
And I want to make sure that they have everything they need to be safe.
Right.
All right.
Oh, Steven's coming back in with some information.
It took me a second. I'm not as fast as Jamie on Joe Rogan, right? This is posted on March 19, 2020. So last month, but towards the end of the month, Eugene, Oregon, the National Park Service has suspended all collection of all park fee entrances until further notice. I've directed the National Park Service to waive entrance fees at parks and to remain open. This small step makes it easier for Americans public to enjoy the outdoors in our incredible national parks, said Secretary of Interior David Banderhart. Our vast public lands that are overseen by the department offer special outdoor experiences to recreate, embrace nature, and implement some social distancing. But visitors should check with individual parks for specific information about park operations. Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, for example, has closed the Steele Visitor Center at the park headquarters effective of March 18th. Ranger-guided snowshoe tours have also been canceled.
Okay,
so
but now
every park,
those dates were March 18th.
That was 2 weeks ago.
It was March 23rd that our governor had a stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
So
that might not be updated soon.
I'd be curious to know.
Yeah, no, that's why I said the date there. But yeah,
President
it's the closest
Trump
thing I can find.
And the Governor Brown has got us to the end of April. So we're at the beginning of April right now. At the end of April, or maybe even by the middle of May, these orders may be lifted.
Well, and we don't.
So we just need to hang tight, and not get so wound
up.
Oh,
here's another one. Last updated 4/4. Okay. Some parks and campgrounds are closed or changing their procedures for camping due to the coronavirus outbreak. Below is a list of public and private campgrounds, RV parks, and dispersed camping locations that are either closed, not accepting new reservations, or operating with restrictions. If you'd like to add information or replace the list, please submit closures here. Blah blah blah. And then there's a list of parks here. It looks like.
Okay.
Interesting. National park closures.
Yeah, those are all closures. Those aren't aren't
there's
describing
a few in
open.
here. There's Badlands National Park. It's open. Bypass Cypress National Park Preserve's open.
Okay.
There's a few of them in here that are open. You got to remember that there's a thing called dispersed camping, and that's just essentially going into BLM land, like China Hat,
like
for
dry
example.
Camping.
Right.
Dry camping essentially, but I mean, if your rig has water, electricity, and all your stuff.
No, we'd have all of our conveniences.
You're definitely.
I have to say,
connected.
One of my favorite camping trips was that one time that you took us out to the end of a Forest Service road.
Exactly.
We took our dogs. We have a Doberman that he's not real friendly with other people. We were literally out in the middle of the forest. And our dogs were not put on the leash one time until we started. It was at the end of our camping trip that we stopped at Sparks Lake and walked on the trails that the dogs were put on leashes.
And that sort of camping is known as dispersed camping.
Oh.
So we do need to obviously follow restrictions. Everyone should follow restrictions of social distancing, especially. I don't think people should be going out and meeting with their friends to go camping out.
Or going to the crowded trailheads and.
But there are a lot of people. I've seen them on YouTube in Central Oregon that I follow that are out camping right now, but still doing social distancing, and they're going out to places like China Hat, not necessarily up close towards town where all the homeless people hang out, but a little bit deeper down in the woods.
And the charts that I seen today when I was looking at the
charts
news station out of Portland was saying they have us peaking at May 1st. So we usually don't hit the lakes till June, July.
So they may still have us at stay-at-home orders to the end of May if we're peaking.
Maybe,
May
but
1st.
given that, we usually don't go to the lake until June or July when it's starting to get hot.
That's true. I'm not talking about the lake. I'm talking about camping.
Oh, camping. Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking camping, lake,
paddle boat.
Yeah.
I'm totally interested in going camping in the next weeks. I am more interested in grabbing some food out of the freezer and going out in the woods away from people with my small family that I'm obviously in quarantine with already, than go to Walmart and even go shopping. Right. I don't even you don't want to go to my doctor's appointments. I don't want to go anywhere in town because you are near people that could be sick right now.
Well, and I'm sewing masks, so I'm going to give each one of us 2 masks so that we can rotate wearing have masks in our car so that when we go into the stores and stuff, we can be covered.
Mask up.
Well, it's so that we don't give our contagions to everybody else is the biggest benefit, but it also helps block some of the viruses.
Or, I mean, when you and I go to Walmart, it's like we went in it was Safeway. Remember that? We went over to Safeway, and then the guy was coming behind us coughing.
Yeah.
And I kept pulling.
Joey grabs the basket and pulls me in the door and says, do not stop. Come over here and wipe that bar off. Get away from that guy coughing.
Keep going.
And he was somebody that looked like maybe he lived on the streets and he smoked a lot of cigarettes. So he probably had a smoker's cough.
Yeah,
I know. A couple old guys that have that cough, right? And get some cigarettes.
Anyway. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Anyway, if we don't end up,
we can wrap it up.
Or we can just go for a whole hour. There you go.
Are you guys ready?
Anyhow, if our plans get ruined for, you being the water dog, like I said, we can always get a pole and a floaty chair or something. And
that's a sweet, sweet sentiment. And I do appreciate your sweetness on that. Well, and I think one of our biggest challenges that we've had was going stir crazy this week. We had some stresses, and we've had to manage to work through them. But I just want to let everybody know that we're all in this together, and that this is what we've been doing with our time at home, and how our plans have evolved from what we thought we were going to be doing. We're supposed to be in Oklahoma right now. Adam's wedding was today. But it's going to be rescheduled.
Yeah. And hopefully August. When did you say it was? August 2nd?
I think August 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm going to double check.
And I mean, if we go at the end of May, June, July, it's 2.5 months. Yeah. Almost 3 months.
No, we'll just make our same trip just then.
Right, but we still don't know what's going to open up in the state of Oregon.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to be open.
I mean, I heard the airlines were, they're showing a bunch of the airlines that got grounded in Alabama at their airport, and I was just like, holy cow.
Yeah, we just gotta wait and see how this all plays out.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
But we just want to remind everybody that we have big projects coming up. So I don't know when we're gonna start back with Man Monday and Woman Wednesday, but we do have some things that topics of interest we can video.
Yes, we do.
And for everybody that's listening to the podcast, you can find us on Apple, you can find us on Google, and over on YouTube, we're under Living Better with Joe and Kat. So we hope that you can join us there.
And you guys stay safe and stay healthy.
Amen. Have a great week, you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.